Hi everyone, hope you're doing good. This is my Cavalera Conspiracy discography ranking and also my top 10 Cavalera Conspiracy songs. For those who don't know the band, basically this is Max and Iggor Cavalera's band after they both left Sepultura. The band was formed in 2007 after Iggor left Sepultura, because Max left years before that to do Soulfly, and then they never talked for near like 7-8 years until Iggor left, and then they sort of got back together and made this band. Features Marc Rizzo, also of Soulfly, on the lead guitar. He's left now, but he performed on all these albums, and every album they had a different bass player. I think for the later albums they pretty much had whoever was in Soulfly to play bass on it. But they've only done 4 albums, so the ranking wouldn't really take very long. So that's why I thought I'd add my top 10 songs as well, just to make the video a bit longer. Before we get into the video, if you're new and you're not subscribed, please consider dropping me a subscribe for more guitar and rock and metal music related content. All feedback and comments are massively appreciated, and thanks to everyone already subbed and for watching and commenting. Now let's just get straight into this video. So in last place, in 4th, I've got Pandemonium. This is their 3rd album from 2014 and their 1st album on Napalm Records. And this was actually the last one I needed to pick up. This one features Nate Newton on the bass guitar, and got to be honest, I didn't think it was that good. When listening through this album, it just felt like the songs and the riffs were kind of put together from off-cuts of other ideas that they had that never really went anywhere. The production I didn't think was any good either. It's almost like they put the vocals so low in the mix you can really hardly hear it. And also for the majority of the album, I didn't even recognise it was Max vocals. It just didn't sound like him, which I didn't like. And it just didn't really click very well with me, this album. But there were some cool songs. I thought I Barbarian was pretty good. Cramunkyal I quite liked as well. The Crucible I liked as well. And the bonus tracks I thought were better than the majority of the tracks on the album, especially the last song, Pora, because it's got that kind of Brazilian traditional sound in there, and I really, really enjoyed that. But yeah, overall, not a particularly great album for me. In 3rd place, and this was really close between the top 3, because they're all actually really good. And to be fair, before I actually made my full ranking, I actually have made a change here. This was going to be number 2, but in the end I put it at number 3, and that's their debut, Inflicted. And this come out in 2008 on Roadrunner Records. For me, I just didn't think it was as good as I remembered it being when I first heard it. Listening back to all the albums, I actually thought that this wasn't as good as the other 2, even though I originally thought that this was the best one. So it's just funny how it goes, really. This features Joe Duplantier of Gojira on the bass, and I think he plays some guitars as well. There's some really, really awesome songs on this album. Like the first half of the album is fantastic. I think for me it was the second half of the album that really let it down. some average songs, but still I really liked Never Trust, Hearts of Darkness, Blood Brawl I thought was really cool. Ultraviolent, Terrorize. Yeah, I'm not really going to talk about some of the songs in the first half too much because they'll be coming up in my top 10. But yeah, overall it's a really good album, but just not quite as good as the other two for me. In second place, I have got their latest album from 2017, Psychosis, and this is also on Napalm, and this features Arthur Rizzo on the bass, and he also plays some like synthy, organy stuff, like some noise in the background, which I thought was a really good feature on this album because it sort of just allowed every song to sort of flow into the next one and into the next one, and yeah, that feature I thought was really cool. Yeah, it sort of adds a bit more atmosphere to the album and everything like that. I thought it was really cool. Sort of more death metal-y, thrash metal-y compared to the debut. Yeah, I just thought that this album, listening through, was just almost perfect. There was a couple of things that I didn't like Hellfire. I thought that song wasn't very good. It sounded a bit too nu metal-y for me. I didn't like it. And Excruciating, the last song, was a little bit too long. There's some like lots of weird stuff that happens for like 2 minutes at the end of that song. I'm thinking if you cut that, it would have been a lot better. And also the instrumental Psychosis. If you put that as the first track, first thing you hear, and then it goes from there, I think that would have worked a bit better. But they're like tiny little nitpicks, really. Overall, this album is absolutely fantastic. There's some great songs on here, like Terror Tactics, Execution, Judas Pariah, really cool. Spectral War, Impalement, Execution, yeah, real top album. And to be honest, this album has grown on me the most out of all four of these, because originally I didn't think it was that great, but then listening to it back, I just realised that it just like properly clicked with me. And one last thing before I forget, the drumming on this album is absolutely incredible. I mean, Iggor Cavalera is a fantastic drummer anyway, but on this especially, the performance he puts in is unreal. And I love the drum mix as well. It's really loud. It's almost like one of the main vocal points on the album. It's almost like he's in the room playing with you. I absolutely love that about this album. It's absolutely fantastic. Okay, so now that is going to give away my number one. And yeah, my number one is their second album from 2011, Blunt Force Trauma. And this was released on Roadrunner. And this featured Johnny Chow on the bass. Yeah, this album is just awesome. Fast, heavy, groovy album. Really great. It just absolutely speeds through. Marc Rizzo really shows his guitar solo prowess on this. I mean, he does on the majority of the albums, to be fair, but on this album especially, it's almost like Max allowed him to just, go up to 11 and really just completely just shred on almost every song. Just absolutely brilliant. Yeah, the consistency of the album is really awesome. And as I said, it's so quick, this album. A lot of the songs average about 2-3 minutes. It's so fast and so heavy. Yeah, I love pretty much all the songs on this album. Warlord, Torture, Killing Inside is a brilliant song. I absolutely love Thrasher as well. Target is really cool. The title track, Blunt Force Trauma, is really cool. Psychosomatic is a bonus track, and that one is really cool as well. And then they finish it off with a cool cover of Black Sabbath's Electric Funeral. Yeah, and then this is the bonus DVD with a live show. Really, really cool. Yeah, I definitely would recommend this album. And to be fair, I'd recommend this, Psychosis, and Inflicted, really. If you haven't checked this band out, they're definitely worth your time because, yeah, they've put out 3 absolutely awesome, solid albums and 1 okay album. Okay, and last up now, I'm just going to go through my top 10 songs. And this was really difficult because they've made some really, really awesome songs. When I was making my top 10 list draft, I put over 20 songs in there. So, I could have done a top 20 really. But, yeah, in the end, I have gone with these 10 songs. So at number 10, I've got Insurrection from Pandemonium. And for me, that is the best song on the album by a country mile. Yeah, it just feels like I don't want to say it feels like the only like proper song on the album, but it was the song that clicked with me the most. Marc Rizzo does some brilliant guitar solos in the song, some really cool phrasing. I like the bit in the middle of the song. Iggor does some really cool sort of drumming. And yeah, really nice phrasing in the song. So yeah, that's at number 10. Number 9, I've got Genghis Khan from Blunt Force Trauma. And this song is a real kind of groovy metal song. I just love the grooves throughout the whole song. Again, it's got a really cool guitar solo in the middle, and the outro riff is really, really super sort of, I wouldn't necessarily call it heavy, but it's sort of groovy, sort of mid-tempo, a bit sort of slow tempo. Really, really cool. Just a really cool song, really. Number 8, I've got Impalement Execution from Psychosis. And again, this is a sort of a thrashy, groovy song. It's got some really cool parts in the song that sounds very like sort of Beneath the Remains, Arise-ish Sepultura, and some Chaos AD bits in there. It's just very Sepultura-esque kind of song, and that's why I like it so much. In at number 7, I've got Black Ark from Inflicted, and this song is just super, super heavy. I love the riffing throughout the whole song. It's just really kind of heavy, groovy kind of song. And Joe Duplantier plays a bit of guitar on it, and then there's certain bits in the song where he does the Gojira string scrape, which I really love that bit. And then the breakdown in the middle where it just sort of goes super slow and super heavy, and Max gets his son Richie Cavalera to do some absolutely insane guttural vocals. I love that bit. And then the outro riff is sort of, I don't know, it's got that kind of Brazilian Latin vibe with it, and a little bit kind of Gojira at the same time, and Marc Rizzo does this really nice sort of tasteful solo. Number 6, I've got Insane off Psychosis, and this is the opening track off Psychosis, and it just absolutely rips your face off. It's fast, it's thrashy, it's heavy, it's pretty fast song, over in a flash, lots of really cool riffs, yeah, lots of changing tempos, but overall it's a pretty fast song, and yeah, great way to start an album off with that song. Number 5, I've got Torture from Blunt Force Trauma, and again, this song is just over in a flash, really fast, really thrashy. Marc Rizzo does some really awesome guitar solos throughout the song. Yeah, one of them songs where it's just over in a flash, super, super fast, really awesome song, love it. Number 4, I've got the title track of Inflicted. And again, this is a really cool way to start an album. It's kind of got that groove metal-y sort of vibe with the song. I really love the intro because Marc Rizzo uses this really cool effect on the guitar that makes it sound really strange. It kind of sounds like a weird horror movie kind of thing, which is really cool. And then the guitar solo is just absolutely takes the piss. It's a brilliant guitar solo. Yeah, really cool way to sort of start off your new project. Yeah. Number 3, I've got Crom from Psychosis, and this song is just fantastic. I love the intro, and it comes in with that heavy riff, and then the guitar solo is really, really awesome. And then it just goes into almost black metal riffing, which I love. And of course, Igor's drumming on that song is just unbelievable, just pounding, brilliant. And then towards the middle of the end of the song, it does this riff and it sounds like OG Slayer, and that is awesome as well. Just an awesome song. Number 2, I've got Lynch Mob from Blunt Force Trauma, and yeah, that song is just really groovy, pretty thrashy as well. I think it features a guest vocalist, but I can't remember who it is, which is a shame, but I'll just leave it there probably, or there, whatever, who the guy was. But yeah, it's just a real cool groovy song with some cool riffing and a really cool guitar solo in there as well. And my number 1 is Sanctuary from Inflicted. And yeah, that was the first song that really clicked with me. And yeah, I still think it's my favourite song, even though the album isn't my favourite album, but that song is just still my favourite song. It's got like old school Sepultura vibes in the first half of the song, and then towards the end of the song it kind of goes into like this hardcore punky kind of thing, which is really cool. I think it really fits pretty well. Yeah, it's just got lots of changes as you'd expect. It's got the cool thrashy moments, it's got the groovy moments, and then yeah, it's got a sort of a hardcore punky kind of vibe at the end. Again, just a really cool song to sing along to, and yeah, my favourite Cavalera Conspiracy song. Okay, so that was my Cavalera Conspiracy ranking and top 10 songs. I'd love to know what you think of this band, whether you like them or you don't, or you've never listened to them. And I'd love to know what you think of the albums as well, if you agree with my list and my rankings. You know, what's your top 10 songs and what's your favourite album by these? And would you check them out now after watching this video? I really hope you do, because they're a really good, solid band. They've done some really great stuff. And yeah, that's it. Thanks ever so much for watching. Until the next time, keep it metal.